Hello students, today we are dealing with class 12th biology and the chapter is reproduction in flowering plants, part 6th. So first we will see embryo. It is the structure formed after fertilization or post-fertilization. It develops at micropylar end of embryo sac or the end where micropyle is formed, and it develops from zygote. Most zygote divides only after endosperm is formed. So zygote division starts only after endosperm is formed because endosperm provides nutrition to the zygote. The early stage of embryo development or embryony is similar in both monocots and dicots. So the embryo develops almost in the same way in both monocots as well as dicots. The zygote divides and gives rise to proembryo. So the zygote divides and first it forms a proembryo. Then a globular or spherical structure is produced. Then a heart-shaped structure is produced, and finally a mature embryo is formed. Here we can see embryo development in a dicot. So first zygote, then it divides into two cells, then globular embryo. At the bottom we can see the globular embryo is found. This. Next it forms heart-shaped embryo. After that the mature structure is formed, and the mature structure has plumule or stem tip, radicle or root tip, and two cotyledons. So first globular embryo is produced, then heart-shaped structure, and finally the mature embryo is produced. Here we can see dicot embryo. So it has two main parts, embryonal axis and two cotyledons. The part of embryonal axis above cotyledons, it is called epicotyle, and the tip is called plumule or stem tip. So it will form the future shoot or stem. The part of cotyledon below is called hypocotyle, and it terminates in radicle or root tip. The root is covered by a root cap. So the embryonal axis has two parts. The upper axis is called epicotyle and the lower axis is called hypocotyle. Now monocot embryo. In monocots only one cotyledon is found and it is called scutellum. Commonly in grass family the term scutellum is used. It is situated towards one side, the lateral side of embryonal axis. Now the lower end of embryonal axis has radicle and root cap. It is covered by a sheath. So the root tip is covered by a sheath and the sheath is called a coleorhiza. So the sheath is called coleorhiza. The part of embryonal axis above attachment of scutellum is called epicotyle. So the upper part is called epicotyle. The epicotyle has shoot apex or the tip, a few leaf primordia. It means young parts which will form leaves, and it is also covered by a sheath or thin membrane which is called coleoptile. So in monocot embryo, the root tip is covered by coleorhiza and the shoot tip is covered by coleoptile. Here we can see dicot embryo, A figure. So plumule or stem tip, two cotyledons, hypocotyle, radicle and the root cap. In the B diagram we can see embryo of grass. So scutellum or single cotyledon, then shoot apex, radicle, root cap, coleorhiza which covers the root cap, and in shoot apex we can see coleoptile. There is also a structure which is seen which is called epiblast. So epiblast actually represents a second cotyledon which is very small. It is not very well developed. Now seed. In angiosperms, seed is the final product of sexual reproduction. So the final product of sexual reproduction or fusion is seed. We can define seed as a fertilized ovule. So it is a fertilized ovule and it is formed inside fruits. The seed has three main parts: seed coat, cotyledon and embryonal axis. The cotyledons are generally thick and swollen because they have large food reserves, example legumes or pulses. In some seeds, the nucellus, you remember nucellus? So nucellus is the part which surrounds the embryo sac. In some seeds, the nucellus is remnant or remaining and persistent. So it is not completely used. It is called perisperm. So this is very important point. In some seeds, the remaining nucellus or remnant of nucellus, which is persistent or still remaining, it is called perisperm. Example is black pepper and beet. Here we can see a diagram. So seed coat, endosperm, then embryo, and in the center we can see perisperm. And outermost layer is pericarp. So pericarp is the covering of fruit, while perisperm is the remnant persistent nucellus. The integuments or the coverings of ovule become hard and they form tough protective seed coats. Now the micropyle is a small pore in seed coat. It helps in entry of water and oxygen into seed during germination. When the seed mature, the water content is reduced. So as the seed becomes mature, the water content becomes less. And they have 10 to 15% moisture by mass. So very little water is present in seed and they become inactive. The general metabolic activity of embryo slows down. So the reactions, they slow down and the embryo enter inactive stage, which is called dormancy. Now if favorable conditions are available like moisture, oxygen and suitable temperature, they germinate. So the seeds only germinate when favorable conditions are available. Now this property is used by human beings to store grains. In this figure, we can see in the upper part some seeds are being shown. The first is, it is the seed of bean. We can see two cotyledons, then micropyle. Then in the right hand side we can see this figure. It is castor seed. In it we can see paper like cotyledon, then endosperm and seed coat. Hypocotyl is found, and in the outer surface we can see shoot apical meristem and root tip. This is onion seed. In this we can see endosperm, a single cotyledon, seed coat, shoot apical meristem or shoot tip, then hypocotyl or root, finally root tip. And this is a monocot seed of maize. In this pericarp or uppermost layer, then endosperm is found, scutellum or single cotyledon, coleoptile is the covering which covers plumule, then bottom part is radicle and it is covered by coleorhiza. So these are the different seeds. So this was a bean seed, then castor seed, then onion seed, and finally maize seed. In the next class we will deal with fruits. Thanks children.